Okay, so we're going to see how many bouquets you can catch.
Okay.
3.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh! It's a real bouquet. This smells so good. Oh my god. I'm getting married. Hi, I'm Neha. I'm an officially certified accountant and your unofficial money master. And welcome to New Money, where each week I look at interesting ways that people are making money in the world today. And yes, I said each week. So hit that subscribe button and bell icon to get notifications every time we drop a new episode. So me and my boyfriend, we're actually married. I just don't like to tell people that because I feel like if you tell someone that you're married, they actually know how much you love another person, which is kind of disgusting. Anyways, I'm like, whatever, I guess I'm married, so I for sure am super qualified to talk about today's episode. This week, we're talking about how people are making money in the wedding industry. How are they doing it? Let's find out. What is this? What is this? What did I win? Make that horse money.
I'm ready for my close-up.
In 2018, the wedding service industry was worth $78 billion, which makes sense because your wedding day can be the best day of your life and also the single most expensive day of your life. So, if folks are spending a lot on their special day, what exactly are business owners selling? Well, there are the obvious things, right? So gifts, photography, flowers, cakes, food, venues, etc. But then there's the less obvious things. For example, customizable boxes for the wedding party, or maybe photos for the couple themselves. Wedding accessories. Ooh. Personalized cute invitations or thank you cards. Wedding hashtags, so you can go to this website where a team of creative professionals will create a custom hashtag for you with both of your names. Wedding video apps that give you a wedding video from everything your guests filmed during the wedding. That actually sounds really cool because people always get the best stuff on their phones. There is pet wedding wear. Yes, pet wedding wear. And the list goes on and on, right? In 2018, the average cost of a wedding was $34,000. And with more than 2.2 million weddings happening in the US every single year, that's kind of a big market to tap into. And today, 82% of brides use social media to find dress inspiration, which I can attest to. Honestly, I feel like during the period of planning my wedding, I was always on Instagram just scrolling through, and Pinterest as well, just scrolling through different outfits because I wanted to look amazing. So I was just trying to find like inspiration from everywhere. Denise and Molly, who founded Florabear, actually noticed there was a disconnect between what you can see on Pinterest and Instagram and what you can actually get your hands on and afford at showrooms, which is such a huge problem. I would go to a gallery and be like,
Look, can you show me this Pinterest dress?
and like if they had it, it would be like $1 million, or they just wouldn't have it. So they decided to sell runway quality dresses straight to the consumer. So my question to them was, how? How did you manage to sell luxury wedding gowns at historically impossible prices? Here's what they had to say.
For us, having been in sort of fashion and retail and e-commerce, we knew there was a better way to do it. So what we do is we essentially design and make the dresses ourselves. We cut out that retail markup in the middle, which would traditionally add sort of a 2 to 4x multiplier on top of the price of your dress. And that means that we're able to essentially offer these really luxury designer quality gowns for an average price point of about $1,000 to $3,000, which is our collection range.
Genius. So with no previous experience in the wedding industry, Florabear broke into a century-old business by recognizing that millennial women were shopping and wanting different things than they were being offered. So they're now a digital-first business with flagship stores in LA and New York. And although the dress can, for some, be an important part of the big day, it's definitely not the only big-ticket item. For many, wedding costs can really start to add up, which helps to explain why there's been a 93% increase in online page views of pre-owned wedding dresses, and a 42% increase for searches including the words vintage and secondhand. So many elements of a wedding are just used once, and A lot of smart entrepreneurs have recognized this and built businesses on it. These businesses let people rent things instead of own them. It's a really good way of keeping costs down, actually. Did you know you can even rent a wedding cake? How does that work? It's like I don't know, whatever. But there are things like jewelry and gowns that are more common to rent, which is where Brittany Finkel enters the picture. Brittany started Happily Ever Borrowed, which is a luxury e-boutique that rents out things like jewelry and veils. Or this hairpiece, for example. Okay, let's try it on.
I'm ready for my close-up now.
So this hairpiece costs $200 to buy, but only $40 to rent for 4 days. So since starting Happily Ever Borrowed as a side hustle, Brittany now has made it her full-time job and seen her business grow 400% in the last 8 years. This industry really does feel like it's evolving. And a quick look at the past will show us this is not the first time that wedding traditions and businesses have changed. Wedding ceremonies have been taking place across cultures all over the world for thousands of years. And through the ages, marriage was basically a transaction with the goal of expanding family size for access to land and prosperity. It was only about 250 years ago that the idea of marrying for love became a reason to get hitched. It wasn't until halfway through the 19th century that women started wearing white wedding gowns. And while you'd assume that a diamond ring was a super old tradition, it's really only been around for less than 100 years. Yeah, I bet you didn't know the engagement ring was invented as a marketing tactic by a jewelry company. Back in the 1930s, De Beers Diamond Company started a successful ad campaign that tied the idea of diamond rings to romantic love. And oh boy, did that work. So, what does the future of the wedding industry look like? Well, people are waiting way longer than they used to get married. And while fewer people are opting to get married, they're actually spending more on weddings, so the market remains strong. Plus, with many places embracing marriage equality, and hopefully more to follow, there's an opportunity for enterprising businesses to broaden their market to include all types of weddings or even specialize. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. Are you ready? It's time for tip time! 3 tips to help you break into the wedding biz. Tip number 1. You heard from Denise from Flora Bear about budgets, and that's because a wedding with all the bells and whistles is definitely not an impulse buy. It's always a good move to find ways to disrupt industries that you know are going to be in the budget. So things like venues, photography, attire, unless it's a nude wedding. Which brings us to tip number 2. 80% of wedding planning is done online, and mobile usage peaks during 9 p.m. through to midnight. And Sundays are pretty popular too. So if you're running social ads, I would definitely target those windows. And finally, tip number 3. You don't have to own a banquet hall to get into the wedding venue game. The use of traditional wedding venues decreased by 16% in 2017, as more people look to have a unique wedding, for example in a heritage home, in barns or farms, to create more of an intimate experience. I don't really have access to a barn or anything, but if you do, it's definitely a start. Or if you have horses, you could definitely rent those out because grooms in Indian weddings often ride in on a horse. So make that horse money. Make that horse money. So all this wedding talk has definitely got me feeling nostalgic. Weddings are super fun to attend, not to plan. And sorry to say this, getting gifts is super fun too. Hashtag capitalism. So now it's time for my favorite part of the show, where every week my producer Alex gets me a super cool product to take a look at from someone who's had a lot of success in this industry. So Alex, la la la, let's see what it is. Can we fast forward all this part, because I'm so slow with it. That's all. What is this? What is this? Oh my God, this is so cool. The Just Married jacket. This is, I know this jacket because one of my cousins had this jacket at her wedding. Okay, I'm gonna like explain what it is in my words, and then Alex, you correct me. This jacket is created by a woman. It's kind of like a sisterhood of the traveling pants leather jacket for weddings. I think you can try to borrow it from her, and you don't pay her, you just send her a bottle of wine, I believe, and you get to wear it at your wedding, and I think over 100 of brides have worn it. I just want to put it on.
She also makes custom now jackets and sells them for like $400.
Oh wow. It's gonna be 101 brides. You guys are gonna witness my wedding right now. Guys, can you tell me if I have boogers showing? I'd like to cordially invite you to a wedding today. This wedding is with me and myself. I'd like to promise you, Neha, that I will always be there for you through sickness and thickness. I love you, Neha. We're gonna be together forever until we die, because we're the same person. I'm obsessed with myself and I don't care who knows it. So, what do you think? Can you find space in the wedding industry? Because although there are fewer people getting married these days, weddings are definitely more costly. Millennials are spending $10,000 more on their big day than Gen X people did. And one thing I learned through researching this episode was how personal and customized weddings have become. With so many ways to say I do think there is a big opportunity for a slice of that wedding cake. Why did I wink? Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode of New Money. If you liked it, then subscribe, because we have new episodes weekly. And in the meantime, you can comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for notifications. And we take suggestions, so let us know if there's an industry that maybe you're thinking of breaking into, and we can help. Or what are some of the most wild things that you've seen at a wedding? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time on New Money. Bye!